I know. I have my crystal. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to Conversations with My People. And I definitely have on this woman today who's been in my life, I don't know, maybe probably close to 25, 26 years. She's been a teacher for me, she's been a friend, she's been a sister. I have so much history and so much love in my heart for this woman. I admire her. I'm inspired by her. I love what she does. She really, truly makes a difference in people's lives, and I know that because she made a huge difference and still does make a huge difference in my life. So last week we had an amazing talk with my dear friend Barbara Crosby, and it was all about resetting our metabolisms, which I know I've gotten a lot of feedback from people. They were like, "Yay, that was so great! I'm starting the diet, and I'm getting feedback that people after 3 days feel really great." So that always makes me feel so good to know that our conversations are actually filling up tools in your toolbox to feel good. And it's so important that we feel good. And today, what we're focusing on is resetting ourselves, and we're going to be resetting ourselves through rituals. Which those of you who have been watching our conversations know that I talk about rituals all the time, and that there are so many rituals that I do in my life to make myself feel grounded, to make me healthier and better in my relationships with people, to help me actually produce better results in my workplace. So there are sometimes I feel like my whole day is just rituals, and that's the way I do it, so that I don't just have these boring habits that I do, but I have these rituals. To me, when I create rituals, they're yummier and they're more fun, and I don't know, they're sexier. Like everything about them feels good to me. So I'm really excited to be having this conversation today because as our country is continuing to open, many schools have gone back to school, some have hybrid, some in school, some out of school. Um, but there's still, no matter how we look at it, there's still an uncertainty, and a tremendous amount of fear and concern around, everything that's going on. And even inside of that, we have to move forward. Like we know that. We know that we have to move forward. But some of us are feeling like, including myself here, people, so much of my life has changed. The things that normally brought me so much joy and so much happiness and made me feel so alive and filled with fun and inspiration and motivation, it's kind of dimmed. And when we first started the pandemic, out of the gate, people came really excited. Like all of a sudden, whatever you weren't doing in your life, like if you weren't working out enough, everybody started working out hard. Or if you didn't feel like you were spending enough time at home with your kids, well, boy, you started spending amazing amount of time at home with your kids or cooking. Whatever it is that you felt was missing in your life because you were so busy in your normal life, you started doing. And today, 6 months later, it's like, okay, all that stuff that I started and came out and was positive, but now like I need to rethink this because we're at a different place now. And that's what this is really about. We're going to talk to my dear friend, Barbara Bijou, who is an author. She is an expert. She has two amazing books, The Joy of Ritual and Family Rituals. She's a speaker. She's a workshop facilitator and leader in both the personal world and also the corporate world. She's been doing this for many, many years. And I'm telling you, she is so good at what she does. And even at the end, we have your little bowl. I have my bowl and my coins because we're going to do a prosperity one, because there's a lot of fear today around money and how people are going to be able to survive and make money again. So we really need to to create these wavelengths into our brain to let our brains and our bodies and our spirits know that we can make money. We made money before, we will make money again. Okay. So before we start, we're going to do a ritual that you all know out there that I love, which is a breathing ritual. Okay. So we're going to take 3 big, deep breaths. Okay. Let's go. Inhale, love. Hold your breath for 5 counts. Exhale, energy. Inhale, love for 4 counts. Hold your breath and smile. Exhale, energy. One more big, deep, healing breath, right from the bottom of your feet all the way up. Hold your breath and smile. Exhale. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Lavinia.
Welcome. I knew
Oh,
you were
this
gonna,
is
I
so
knew you were
fabulous.
gonna wear orange. Whenever
Yeah.
I think of you, the color that always, there's 2 colors that always pops in my head about you, and I'm sure there's a reason for that. It's orange or turquoise.
Absolutely. Those are my colors. You know, orange is the color of joy, actually, and also sexuality, sensuality, and turquoise is the color of the divine feminine, and it's also friendship. So I don't know, those are 2 colors I've always loved, although sometimes I wear a lot of blue, which is about communication. But yes, although I'm in New York, so I do wear black.
This is so beautiful. I love that you're wearing your orange because it really is like what I would call your color in my
Yes.
heart. So
Yes.
beautiful. Well, Barbara, first of all, I want to thank you so much for taking time to come on and to share your wisdom with our beautiful community. So I think we just want to jump in there, okay? And
Right.
for some people, they don't really know what rituals are. It might just be a word, you know.
Right.
So I would love for you to sort of define what makes rituals such powerful vectors for both stability and positive change, and why it's so important in this time of so much uncertainty and people being so unsettled, why we really need to be using rituals.
Well, there are many, many reasons, but the short answer is ritual is really a psycho spiritual connection that literally changes the brain because the brain reads an experience the same way it reads, quote, reality or thought, and it really can change your brain. It brings you to another level of consciousness. Everybody knows, I mean, just think of a ritual of a graduation or a wedding. You feel different. You go from one place to another. It instantly can really shift you. And what's so super important now about rituals to me right now is that in order for the brain to predict the future, it has to go back into pulling out information from the past. And right now, nothing looks the way it used to. So it's very confusing right now. And that's why so many people are feeling anxious because there's no anchor anymore. Nothing is the way it used to be, and probably nothing will ever be again the way it used to be. And probably that's a good thing. I know I want to talk also about a ritual to really kind of mourn the way things used to be so we can move forward. I think that's a really important thing for us to do. And we have the opportunity really for it to be better. So ritual gives us the structure that we need right now to calm us down. When you talked about anxiety, you talked about being grounded. Having those small, and you and I have talked about it a lot, starting with very small, doable, easy rituals to just fit into your day can change the way you feel. So, for example, I know when I was listening to Barbara talk about a mindset and changing your body and your eating, she talked about a lot of very short, simple things to do. And one of the things I started doing, actually, since I heard the both of you, is I've now incorporated a shake into my life because I never did protein shakes before. But now what I'll do is I'll wake up, I do my morning ritual of prayer and, the things that I always do. And then I'll go in the kitchen. I still have to have my coffee in the morning. But as I make my coffee now, my new ritual is as the coffee's brewing, I go into my living room and I take my foam roller and I use the foam roller for 5 minutes to start stretching me out, and then I go back and have my coffee. So I've incorporated now a new ritual to bring me empowerment around healing myself and getting stronger. And it's 5 minutes. I don't even think about it anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth now. It's so natural. So as we do those short, structured, and the structure is an important word here, as we structure these small rituals, it totally changes the way I feel. So then what happens? I feel, wow, I can do this. So I feel better about myself. And when I feel better about myself, then I think of other things I could do versus saying, gee, I better work out for 2 hours in the morning, or I'm going to go ride with Lavinia, which that I'm not great at doing. So that would stop me. This keeps me going. This motivates me. And I think that's one of the important things right now about why rituals are so important for us.
I totally agree with you. And I love that. I love that basically you're doing a self-care. I mean, that really is the self-care. Everybody, like, there's such a buzzword today around self-care, self-care. And it really is that, when you can do it yourself, it is that much more powerful. I know I was somebody that definitely, once or twice a month I'd have acupuncture, or once or twice a month I go to the to the chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
And during COVID, like, you couldn't do that. You just couldn't. And so I had to find other things that I could do. And I found, a breath work with certain movement, moving my back in all 6 directions while I'm moving my neck. And it's funny because the other day I said to my husband, like, wow, I haven't needed acupuncture at all. And trust me, I've been working out harder than I even normally work out. And my sleep hasn't always been on point. It's the stuff that would take me out of my harmony or my balance that I would need acupuncture and stuff. But it's like I'm doing it on my own.
Right.
And there's something so powerful about having that autonomy to be able to take care of myself. And that's one of the things that I love about the ritual, is that it really does empower you. It's like it's this inside empowerment that also happens so beautifully. And so why don't you give us, like, sort of how exactly do rituals work to reframe our mindset and help us change our behaviors? Why don't you give us an example of one where it's like, okay, this is where the person was before, and then this is the ritual that they did, and then sort of this is the outcome that happens from doing these. And obviously it has to be, I always say that consistency and repetition creates excellence.
Absolutely.
So there has to be repetition, and it has to be, and then everything else fit in there with accountability. So all of a sudden these rituals create all these vibrations of things like of accountability and integrity and keeping to our word. And, everything starts happening that we're not even completely aware of, that makes us a stronger, more powerful, self-inflicted person, right?
Yeah. So the first thing you want to look at is what rituals aren't working anymore. What are those things that you're doing? Because the whole idea of ritual is intention. You have to have a clear intention. People call me all the time, can you give me a ritual to do this, to do that? But if they're not really going to make a difference. I could do a ritual, you know me, I could do a ritual for anything, but it opens a door. And once the door is open, you have to walk through the door and do things differently. Otherwise, you're going to wind up back in that same door again. So let's start with one thing that I think people may not be aware of, especially with everybody at home, whether you're working or you're not working, you're on Zoom all the time. You're on your computer, you're on your phone. And there is actually something called email apnea that happens right before, if you see a text coming in, if an email is coming in, you're about to do a meeting, which literally means you stop breathing. So the best, simplest ritual before you start any project, any Zoom meeting, before you answer a text or an email is literally to stop and just take a few breaths. One of my favorite things to do, and I know I've showed you this before, but this is so easy and I love doing it. And it's something you could teach your children too, by the way. Literally take your hand and you make circles in your hand and start to count. I like to do it by 9. The more complicated, the faster it works, by the way. So you could do it by 2s if you want, but you just go 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. And you do it silently. That took about 6 seconds, by the way, and now you're grounded again. Really simple. So before anything, don't ever answer your phone on the first ring. Don't feel like you have to go to a text immediately. Otherwise, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, or you're going to be, as you said before, reactive as opposed to proactive. So that's one of the things that we really need to think about.
Because I've noticed that with people being a little bit more nervous and people being a little bit more anxiety, and again, I put myself in that category, that we can be this moment of, it can be reactionary.
Right. Very easy.
So easy to do that. And also because like you're not in your office alone. Like,
Right.
It's like all of a sudden your husband's asking you a question, not realizing you're on a Zoom meeting, or
Right.
your son walks in, he's like, "Hey, mom," and you're like, like it's
Right.
everything starts building up, like things are just not normal, so
Well, in a way, it's going to be the new normal. I mean, my old assistant, is working full time. She has 3 kids at home who are all in different Zoom classes now because school just started. And she's, in a big position in HR trying to, do everything. So when we look at, quote, work rituals, one of the things that I'm finding is working a little, I mean, it's not foolproof because right now we have to just be flexible. And I think we have to all agree to embrace uncertainty and look at it as an opportunity. That's what you talked about before. How we talk to ourselves is going to make a huge difference. And when I find myself all of a sudden spinning into something negative, I literally stop. And this is what I personally do. I take my ring finger and I tap right between my eyebrows, which in spirituality, if you know, or yoga, this is the third eye. And I just go cancel, clear, cancel, clear, cancel, clear. And then I think of something the opposite that will counteract it. So if somebody is saying, the stock market is falling apart, or no one is going to pay for you because it's the pandemic, no one has money. When you do that, then you'll go, my services are really needed now during this time. Just say anything that will just switch it. And that's how you start to rewire your brain, by the way. Makes a big difference. But I want to backtrack for a minute because I know you do this all the time, Lavinia.
I want to add one thing because I
Sure.
love this. I think that, first of all, it's so elegant and it's so spiritual, and I love that. I just want to tell you, mine is definitely a little bit more of like the Jersey girl.
Okay.
Because
you.
when I start hearing that, like somebody, because I'm going through some stuff now where we own real estate in New York and people aren't paying their rent. So I'm kind of hearing from people, oh my God, things are going out, business is going out, this one's going to go out of business. And I always do this, cancel, Like I
That's
literally
the
put my
same
hands
thing.
up
Yeah, I
and I'm
like that. Cancel.
cancel. I mean, no matter where I am, like there are
Right.
times where I'm literally on the phone with somebody and I'm
I love
driving,
it.
hearing their negativity, and I can't scream it. So I'm in my
Right.
car while they're speaking and I'm going,
I love it. I love
I'm
it.
like
I
just
love
telling
it.
God, cancel this energy,
Yeah,
just cancel it because I don't want to take that in. I don't want that getting into my brain. I don't want it getting into my body because
exactly.
so much holds on, our bodies hold on to so much. That's another reason why people have to, in this time, create rituals around moving their body
Moving, absolutely. You
get
have to move.
off, to get that energy off.
Absolutely. I was told once by a healer that the best technique to heal you ever is to pretend you're like a 3-year-old having a temper tantrum. You know how kids are like, ah, and just stand up there for like 3 minutes and have a temper tantrum. You will feel so much better. Trust me. All of a sudden, you're releasing.
Today I was doing something, and because I had a spiritual teacher tell me that to shake like a dog that just got out of a pool.
That's a
And you
good
know
one
when
too. I
a
like
dog
that.
just shakes when they get out of a pool. So I find myself doing that even more now. Like if I'm going from one call to the next, I'll walk into my kitchen maybe to fill up my water thermos,
Right.
and I go like this, and my staff will look at me like, what is she doing? And I'm just like, I'm getting the energy off. I'm getting the vibration off. And
Right.
those are just rituals, like I say, that I just do through the course of the day. And I'm not thinking like, oh my God, I'm doing my ritual.
Right.
I just do it to release. We have to release. And maybe that actually could be some of the rituals that we put on the website for people
Totally.
to just be able to release.
Releasing, so start off your morning shower releasing. Literally, like you would if you were, being baptized or purified or in a mikvah in Judaism, or all religions have purification. So let your morning shower, I literally say that. I said, I ask now the water to release, consume anything I'm holding on to that won't serve me today. And if I take a bath at night, I do the same thing, and I imagine it going down the drain. Remember, the brain reads that as real. It doesn't know the difference between it going down the drain and it really happening. So it makes space, it rewires the brain, changes your hormones, it changes everything. And it's a great ritual actually for kids who get nervous. Put them in the bath at night and tell them anything they're afraid of is going to go down the drain and be gone.
Barbara, you taught me that ritual literally probably 23 years ago. And you had me do it. I don't know if you remember this, but you had me do it when I would work all day. As
Right.
soon as I got home, before I even saw my son, and it just worked great because the apartment that I was living in New York City, I walked in and the master bedroom was right there, so I could sneak in. And
Right.
and you said, I want you to just rinse off all the energy of everybody's energy during that you came, because I came around hundreds of people in a day when I was working, and a lot of their energy was
Yeah.
intense, And you said, I want you to get that off, take those clothes off, put on, a pair of sweatpants or whatever, clean, and then go and connect with your son. And to this day, I still do that. Like when I'm out, my husband says nobody takes more showers than you do, and I say no,
I
I'm
do.
rinsing the energy off.
Right.
I take them fast because obviously I don't want to waste water. We have water issues here, but I literally just go like that to sprinkle it just to get the energy off. So that I love that ritual.
And also, when we talked about, letting go, you also, because you brought up a point, when you're taking on a lot of people's energy, you just want to imagine that you're putting a protective shield around yourself. So, it's so much has been written now about energy vampires, and a lot of therapists talk about it. You could take on other people's energies because of something called mirror neurons in our brain. So it's very important, if you're working around people, to imagine a shield around you.
Well,
And then I walk around, yes, yes, in my
I'm
space.
not plugging people. Like, I don't like to do that, but I do always have in my purse I have, these are like, though there's three I love. I like space, I love happiness, and I love love. Those
Right.
are the three that I always have with me. And even before, I mean, we're not going to those kind of meetings before, but before I would go,
Right.
I was going to meet with somebody, I would go in there and I would spray a little bit. And people are like, what is that? I said, I just want to create a space so you and I can have a
Right.
beautiful collaboration when we meet. And of course, they love it. And, and then I would very often do the next ritual of, would you mind, would you be okay if we took a couple breaths just so we could, and there are some people that look at you like, but you know what, after they do it, I say, I
They
just
feel
want
better.
and just say, so that we can be completely transparent, we can have open communications, that our voices, that we can
Right.
deliver whatever message in the most tender, gentle, kind way, so we can leave here really saying what we needed to say, authentically. And I do that all the time, even if I'm going to have like a difficult conversation with a loved one, like, hey, could we take a couple of breaths just to get us a
Right.
little spray? So those are all the things, Barbara, that I feel so fortunate I learned
Yeah.
from you.
Well,
And
to me, when we talk about ritual, it all has to take place in the heart, not in the head. And that's what I always loved about ritual. It bypasses the mind in a way that could stop you or self sabotage, and you go right into the heart, which is a transpersonal place. And rituals are good for what we talked about, but they also connect you to your family, to your community, to the planet right now. So there's so many rituals that are going out and out and out right now. And people are finding new ways to do this, that we never had before. And part of it, even you might say, ugh, Zoom or this, it's really made a difference. I mean, I do space clearings on Zoom. I do fertility rituals on Zoom. I do weddings on Zoom. I mean, we really can connect people globally now. And I have to tell you, they feel it. It's not a mental thing. You can engage people, if you really bring the right intention into it, which is beautiful.
so we talked a little bit about the letting go, and we talked a little bit about workspaces. I mean, is there anything else in the workspace? Because
Well, yes, I think that you really need a ritual. So when you are going to work, number one, get dressed for work. I'm not saying you have to wear, what you used to wear in the old days, but don't go in your pajamas, don't, be in just the same sweatpants. You feel different when you get dressed for work. You really do. And pay attention. Some people who are sharing spaces with others now are buying even like a screen, that they will put. It could be a pretty screen or just something, inexpensive. And when the screen is up, that means I'm at work. And then once that's over, you take it away and and you might even change your shirt or something, and it symbolizes that you have left work behind and you are now moving into a time of play. You have to be much more conscious about separation when you're working at home all the time. Otherwise, you'll be working all the time or you'll never be working. It's one or the other.
it feels so flat. Like everything then just feels like so flat, like nothing has texture and levels,
Right.
nothing has a beginning and an end, and it just like goes rule before you know it,
Exactly.
at the
Well,
end of
that's why
it.
for me, I mean, if I'm doing a spiritual thing, I light a candle to start it, and do my breathing. If I'm, I might even do that for corporate, but I won't show them the candles, But I mean, I always have a beginning, and then when it's over, I like to acknowledge what we've accomplished. And that's another thing we talked about. When I was showing you before, and I'll show you now because I love this, I use a success jar. Okay? So I just take a jar, and I like that it's glass because you could see it. And every time I do something, it could be the tiniest little thing, make one phone call, look something up that I wanted. I put a penny, a dime, a nickel. You could put, beans in it, doesn't matter. The idea is that you watch it grow. And when it grows like that, it motivates you because then it's telling you, oh, I set an intention and I accomplished it. Success. You could check it off. Oh, look at that. Look how much I have accomplished already this week or this month. And you need to have those kind of things to keep the brain motivated in this time right now. And you could do this, by the way, for a team. So if you have a virtual team, you can do this. Everybody does it, and then every week they show you where they are, with the team goal, or to have a chart that you could check things off. But you need things like this now more than ever. You have to engage all your senses, and that's why I love aromatherapy, because it changes your mood. So if I'm feeling like, wow, I need a little energy, for me, I do the happiness because that boosts my immune system. Or if I need to calm down, I'll do something else that will calm me down. So you have to find different ways that are multi-sensory, and that's a key in ritual. Think about the best rituals you've ever been. They are multi-sensory.
Well, I have a funny story to tell you real quickly. 2 nights ago, we're sitting at the dinner table, and my husband says to me, "Wow, you've got a secret weapon, baby." And I'm thinking, secret weapon? Like, I don't have what are you talking about? And he's like, "You're an amazing cook." And I'm thinking to myself, like, are you kidding? I've been cooking for you for like 12 years. And I looked at him and I was like, "Honey, nothing's changed. My recipes, no." He goes, "No, something has changed." So I said, "I don't know." He goes, "You know what I think it is?" And I'm like, "What?" He said, "Now when you cook, you're slower." He said, "You play Blake Shelton." He said, "And I don't know." He goes, "I feel like you cook with more love." And it was really interesting because I had first of all, I was like, I didn't even notice that he noticed that. And I think I've shared this in previous conversations that I found this newfound love during this COVID for country music because I never listened to it. But the time I listen to it is really when I'm cooking now at night. Like that becomes my part of my dinner ritual of making. And I light a candle, and it's interesting because I always have candles lit, but now I have a candle that I light during the day.
Right.
And it's a scent that has a little bit more citrus and things like that, lime and a little basil. Then I have the candle that I light at 5 o'clock. And that's a little bit more ambery. Because I need, like you said, when you said the sensories, I need that feeling again, unless I feel like from 7 o'clock in the morning until I go upstairs at 9 o'clock, everything is the same. There's something about that wants to drive this like woman crazy, like crazy. So I had to create these different sensory things, and I am using music. And so when he said that, I guess there's something about, I don't know, I guess I've kind of enjoying Blake Shelton, but he said it feels like you're cooking it with more love.
There was a great movie once, I can't remember, it was from South America, and it was about the goddess Iemanjá, goddess of the ocean in Brazil, who empowers this cook with this love. So everything that she's cooking has this special love, so she becomes the most famous chef in Brazil. And every ashram or any spiritual place will tell you you're not allowed to be in the kitchen unless you're coming from a good feeling, because they believe that you can imbue the food with negativity. So you're only allowed to be in the kitchen if you're happy or peaceful or sending good vibes. So that's kind of cool that you do that. I really like that.
And I think before I was running in the house from my full day and doing what I'm doing, and I was running in the house and I was just doing everything quickly. I mean, I'd like to do it with love, but I was doing it with very fast love, like putting it all together. Now I'm like enjoying it, and I'm going slower, and I'm listening to music, and I'm dancing, and I have to entertain myself with these rituals to feel good.
Right. And the thing is, when you feel good, you can actually see the chaos in the world and not become the chaos. And again, that's a big thing, because we're not going to pretend it's not there. That would be ridiculous. However, we don't have to be it. So when you're in that space and you're feeling good, you're kinder to people, you're more forgiving, you listen better, all the things that we need to really connect right now and that are so important for all of us. And I think that's one of the things that makes a huge difference. So to look again, as I said, we're moving into the fall season. A lot of people have kids who are going back to school. Maybe people are even being asked to go back to their offices. And then there are some people who their jobs are gone and they have to really reinvent themselves right now. And the biggest ritual for me right now is to be gentle with yourself and not beat yourself up if you haven't published your new book in the last 6 months, or you don't have the perfect
Learn
painting,
some
or
new
there,
language or
yeah,
whatever.
there's such pressure that you were supposed to have created something amazing during the pandemic when, you know, I don't know who decided that, but it was really insane. Some people did,
I think it
but
was
most
Gwyneth
people didn't.
Paltrow. I think it was Gwyneth Paltrow came out very early and said that. And I, even when she said it, no judgment, but I thought like, wow, like, okay, we'll
It
see.
puts undue pressure on you. And also, the truth is, for some people, this was a time of not reinvention, but just going in. It's that inner archaeology
Action.
connection.
Connection
And maybe the
as
next
well.
thing isn't apparent yet because it hasn't happened. And to me, the opportunity of, and I call this a global initiation, is that there are new things going to come in. And if we think we know it all now, we're going to miss the fact that there are going to be new things coming in. And we're only going to, create based on the old, not based on possible an expansion of ideas. So we need to do rituals of creativity where we're playing. And rituals of play right now are really, really important. You have to have time to just play. I don't care how old you are. You have to have times when you're just laughing and giggling and playing. And I mean, I actually went and bought some chalk because I was watching all these kids do hopscotch, and it reminded me when I was a little girl how I loved it. So I went and bought some chalk, and on one of my walks, I just went down and I made a hopscotch thing, and I just played it. And I mean, come on, I'm not a little kid, but it was so much fun. And I went home and I just felt so much more creative and open, and maybe I could do this or that, and it really changes everything. So we have to incorporate not just all the work, which, yes, that's important. However, we have to do the play, and then we have to find times for our community. I mean, I loved that you were doing, Zoom meetings for our Mexican group when we were in Mexico as following up. As long as people aren't doing it where it's a chore, because I don't know about you, but I get invited to 100 Zoom meetings a week, and it's too much. So I like to pick and choose. But there are families. It's a way to keep together. I mean, my son FaceTimes me now at the end of his workday because he's in LA, which he never really did before. So that's quite fabulous for me. I get to share with him, even if it's 5 minutes,
Before he was probably connecting with thousands of people, well, not thousands, but
and commuting.
and commuting, that it wasn't really time to do that. And now it's like, it's amazing. There are definitely these wonderful pearls that are starting to be revealed through this process. But
Right.
we're not going to have so much time. I think I
Okay.
really want to get this prosperity,
Okay.
ching, 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 ching.
Yes. So prosperity, we have money here that we're going to use. And to me, prosperity, abundance is not just about money. You know that. To me, it's about health, it's about love, it's about relationships. So the first thing, this is a ritual that I do every new year. So since we're moving into a new season, it's really a good time to do it right now because we are moving into a new year. Many cultures, by the way, are about to celebrate a new year. So it's really appropriate. So you put some coins, I have some dollars even here, whatever. And what you do is just take a moment. Let me just lead you through something. So just take a moment to breathe into your heart. Just some slow breaths like Lavinia did before, just breathing in maybe to the count of 2 and out to the count of 4. And just imagine you could ground yourself to the earth. So like a tree, imagine from the soles of your feet, you're dropping 2 golden cords down into the earth, grounding you. And see them going down deeper and deeper, dropping your roots, connecting to this crystalline energy in the center of the earth, this pink tourmaline crystalline energy. And imagine your roots could just take some of it and pull it up, 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 up. Let it go through the soles of your feet again, up into your body and anchoring you in your heart. So as you're breathing now, you're expanding, but you're totally connected to the earth. And from this place, just notice now any limiting thoughts, feelings that you might have now about prosperity. Anything keeping you from expanding, changing, taking action, being more hopeful. And just notice if you had to guess how big your prosperity container is. Imagine you have one. How big is it? Because right now we want to open it. So right now, set your intention. I intend to release now all limiting thoughts and feelings. Anything I have taken on from others, inherited, or created myself that is anything less than prosperity consciousness. And on the count of 3, I am going to clap my hands, and we're going to imagine that we're going to dissolve this negative bubble of energy that you have around you, which will then free up and open this container to expand. So on the count of 3, you are going to now bringing up to consciousness things that you know about or you don't even know about that are holding you back right now. And on the count of 3, we are going to say, be gone, and clap your hands. So 1, 2, 3. Be gone!
Fine.
Whew, just shake it out. Just let it go. And now just tune into that container. I want you to stretch it out, make it bigger, 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 so that you have more room to bring in a higher level of prosperity into your life. And then you take your coins right now, and right now set intention for what that looks like. It could be a certain amount of money, it could be a project, it could be related to your health, relationships, anything you want right now. I want you to imagine that you can imbue this money right now with whatever you choose, and it's a choice right now, to bring into your life. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this ball, and you could do it when we're finished, and go to your front door and take this. And you could either, depending if you have a lot of kids around or not, you can either put this bowl right inside, go step outside your door and imagine you're walking in for the first time, and you're either going to put this bowl someplace near the front door, or you can actually, I like to actually spill it out. I like throw money all around my house right now because I'm living here alone and no one else is going to bother it. You keep the money, whether it's in a bowl or all around, till tomorrow. You want it to keep it for 48 hours, and then get it all together, put it in a bag, and give it away. Just give it away. And you are affirming then to the universe that you have already received abundance, and you could be generous, and you could pass it on. And notice how you feel. You're going to feel really great. And again, if any of those old thoughts come, remember what we said in the beginning: cancel, clear, cancel, clear, cancel, clear, and then just say, I am abundant. I am abundant. I am abundant. So you want to constantly just rewire if anything else comes up. So there we go. They don't have to be complicated.
I love that. That's what I love about your rituals, Barbara, is that they're so practical. People can do them like immediately. So
Yes, yes.
So-
Practical spirituality. That's what we did. That's how I met you, actually, many, many, many moons ago when you brought me into Equinox to do a whole thing on practical spirituality. You were way ahead of the game, Lavinia. We both were.
To say I was crazy. What is this quackery you're doing?
They all thought we were a little nuts, but
but this is good.
Yeah, no, I mean, if people go to my blog, I just wrote something about coming out with my spirituality, how I've done these rituals for 25 years in secret, and everything from film studios to corporations who brought me in the middle of the night because they were afraid to tell people, but they believed in it and they knew it worked. Now we're being a little more open, I hope.
Well, now it's like become, thankfully, the hot subject.
Right,
That's what people want. Like
right.
people are hiring
Yeah, it
this.
was even an article in the New York Times about it the other day, how people are coming in with doing rituals in their companies, which is great. It's time.
Well, they should book you because you're so amazing at what you do,
Well,
Barbara.
thank you. I'm ready.
So you're good. All right. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. So appreciative. We're going to be putting on quite a few rituals from Barbara on laviniaerico.com. So feel free to go on there. We'll even have a link to Barbara's website as well as her blog. I really encourage all of you to read through and get familiarized with Barbara's work because it's practical and I promise you it helps in relationships, it helps in work, it helps in romance, it helps in health and healing. It really does help on every aspect of your life. Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And
Mwah. Love
uh,
you.
we'll see you all next week. Have a great week.